This week we have Euro Fever. We are talking about piss in bed, smuggling drugs, and Guinness dribbling down your arse crack.
Welcome to the show this week. We have the usual people in with us. In a way, we have Bud.
How he is getting up?
And we have a blank seat for Garrett.
Yeah, the man who can pull out of everything but his exes.
Yeah, that's true.
Gone
That's
again.
true. The man with more kids than fucking sense.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So how are things been?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's been a warm one. There's been some decent weather this week. There's been lack of rain and a lot of sunshine and
I think the Euro's on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well that's it. It's the start of summer and like that's the thing. Summer is like one of the major things of summer is it's a real summer when you can remember what there was a football tournament on or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like it brings everyone together. It is the crack. And yeah, if you didn't know already, the Euros are on. They've started today as we are recording. The first game is actually live. So no spoilers, please.
So the Euros, let's just clarify. This is Euros 2020.
Euros 2020 happening in 21. Cheers, COVID.
So what happens next year? Is it going to be Euro 2022 and we just skip a year?
No, well, it goes every 4 years, the Euros. They will. It will be in 3 years' time. I think. They'll try and get back on track.
Same question for 4 years' time.
They'll try and get back on track. I think they're not going to have it on an odd year. And I think that I'm jealous, man. I mean, like there's people actually getting to go to football games. But just to guide it through, for those of you who don't, or who are probably in an office sweepstake or something and don't know,
walk us through give us the plebs guide to who we're betting on this.
Plebs guide. If you've bet on Belgium, France, Portugal, yeah, they're about the three. They're the three. I mean, some people will say England, but no, I don't think they're ready.
Who says that? English people?
Well, a lot of English people, a lot of other English people, a lot of non-English people.
A lot of other English people.
A lot of non-English people have been saying it, and I mean they're good going forward, but I don't think they're strong at the back. Basically, yeah, if you're in a sweepstake, Belgium, France, Portugal, they're the three that you could be looking at some serious wedge. You'd be looking at a nice little dishy payout at the end of the month, get your little holiday fund on the go. If you got stung with like North Macedonia, Austria probably aren't great.
Did you see any surprises this year?
Compared
to other years, you always get some absolute fucking.
I think Scotland
from the nosebleeds coming straight up.
I think our Celtic brethren. I think Scotland are going to surprise a lot of people. Scotland are playing England in Wembley.
I haven't heard that since fucking Braveheart.
Since Euro '96, it's like it's throwback year. Scotland are. I think they're gonna rough England up. I think they're gonna do a job on them, and I think they're gonna get out of their group. That's one of my top tips. I think Scotland to get out of their group is a tasty little number. They're unfancy.
The more you know.
Exactly, yeah. The more you gamble, the more you lose, apparently.
Yeah. So
please gamble responsibly.
Who would your money be on totally? For the win?
Well, I mean,
who's an easy bet?
France are the out-and-out favourites. There's no two ways about it. France are the favourites.
Are Germany any use still?
They're all right, but they're not great. Their manager's shite at the moment. The thing about Belgium should win it, or should be much better, but they don't have a great manager. But they have some really great players. Their squad is almost as good, but their manager's letting them down, I think. And I think that Belgium, it's the last of they've had a great generation of players that haven't achieved, and I think this is their last chance. And I think they for me are going to be in the final. I think Belgium. If you want a top goal scorer bet, Romelu Lukaku or Cristiano Ronaldo, he needs 5 more goals to have the international record of most goals ever for an international player.
Does he have to get them within this competition?
No, just till he retires.
Lifetime.
5 more goals, but he was. You can tell.
But he's 87.
He's gunning for it in this tournament. Do you know what I mean? He wants that because it's another thing that Messi will never have. And Ronaldo to be top scorer, I think because Portugal have a serious team, and if they feed him chances, he will score goals. So I think that's the one. But I mean,
So how many potential games do we have before, let's say, Portugal in the final? Including the final, what do we have from now?
That's a lot of games. Well, you're looking at 3 games a day from tomorrow for the first.
No, but I mean games just for
Portugal.
one team.
So they'll play 3 teams in their group, and then they'll play the round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, final. So 7 games in total. They only have to win 7 games in a row to win the tournament. Greece did it.
5 hopefully should be doable then in that time.
Yeah. 5 goals. Oh, you'll definitely get
for
them.
Star player type.
Yeah. There's no 2 ways about it. And Ronaldo scores goals, so I think he'll be looking to fill his boots. If there's a penalty or a whiff of Anton, he'll be all over it. All over it.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if I miss. I'm taking 3 of them. Do you know what I mean?
I take that with you.
But the main thing, the main thing about this that is the most important thing is that there are fans back at football games. There's people going to see matches, and that I think is
that's a big change. Huge
huge. After the year we've had.
So were they actually, because the last I saw, not that I actually fucking watch football, but the last I did see, possibly when I was, I don't know, in your house or something like that, last I saw was pretty much, the stadiums were empty. Well, they were empty. Like, that's the thing. So are they now... What's the story now? Is there still like
depending on
1-2 meter spaces, or like everyone's flooding back in, or is it just half a stadium or something?
So UEFA being UEFA and being a shower of absolute gobshites, they couldn't have fucked themselves better. For the first time ever, they decided Euro 2020 wasn't going to be held in one country, and it was going to be all over Europe. So they were like, "Oh, we're going to have some matches in, Milan."
So when was this decided? Pre-COVID?
This was originally decided in probably 2018.
Oh, okay. So pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah, way pre-COVID. This was like their idea. They were going to, instead of having it in one country, they were going to have it all over the place, and it was going to make for, more travel, more people visit different cities.
You get more money out of it at the end of the day.
Everyone gets a piece of the pie.
Yeah,
and,
because if it's always in Germany, Germans are going to get sick of paying fucking extortionate amounts to go to games, as opposed to let's rinse out the entire continent.
That's it. There are very few countries in Europe that can hold it alone. You know what I mean? Germany have
not throwing it in Bosnia.
Exactly. Germany have the the infrastructure. England have the infrastructure. Italy have the infrastructure, and Spain possibly. But that's about it. Yeah. Everywhere else needs, it has to be,
It's not, and there's a donkey on the pitch.
Yeah. Like when you had Holland and Belgium host it one year, because it was just that was.
They have their shit together, do they not?
Oh no, they do. But they'd have relatively.
It's not like downtown Baghdad.
But like,
someone's being hung from the net.
But say you need 8 sort of top quality stadiums. Holland probably has 4 and Belgium has 3, you know what I mean? Or whatever it is, 4 and 4 or whatever. You know what I mean? Because, Ireland has tried to get in with Wales and Scotland and a few others to try and do a house bid with them.
Yeah.
And I reckon they'll get it eventually.
Like a dolly mixture of
countries,
fucking trying. Basically.
You're just bribing the wrong people, FAI. Come on, lads. Come on, we need this.
Yeah. Come on, the Eurovision. We sorted that at some point. We can sort this.
Yeah, exactly. We're bribing the wrong people. But the point is, fans are back at football matches, and that's the thing that we have missed out is fan stories. The Irish have such a great reputation of going to all sorts of different countries, and as soon as they find out we're not English, we are the best people in the world. And I think that we've we've made a reputation for ourselves, but we're going to tell a few stories. We reached out to
some listeners.
We got some feedback. There was some WhatsApps. There was we put it out on the socials and to see if we get any feedback. And well, lads, you did not disappoint. Turns out. If it's
plenty of football stories.
If it's sporting travel stories you needed, we finally found what the people know.
What's hot off the presses?
Well, I mean, one is a person, one that a bunch of lads that we both know. They obviously will remain nameless. They were
degenerates.
Oh, absolute. These are pint men. One in particular.
Shirt off any man's back.
He'd take the shirt off any man's back, and you know who I'm talking about. He would literally take the shirt off any man's back, and he would do it again. So the lads, anyway, set off to Poznan with a fucking great big smile and a great big tricolour with the name of their local pub on it, and they had a great old time.
This was. What year was this?
This was in Poland,
2012 or
60. I can't remember what year it was. Yeah. Anyway, we can fact check that later. They went to Poznan and they had a great time. Now let's not forget. Let's not forget the Irish performance in that Euros has gone down as the worst performance by any team in the history of the Euros.
Of course it has.
But
that's it. But the thing is, it's gas because knowing these people that obviously didn't make a lick of difference.
Jesus, this was their wake.
Bull in a china shop.
Oh, the football was diabolical. There was nothing to celebrate, and yet these lads went off on one like you would not believe. They absolutely battered the poor accommodation that they were in.
I always feel sorry for things like that. So, we've been on a few trips of that caliber. Yeah. Even with the same people sometimes. It's just
hashtag stag vibes.
Exactly. Those kind of things. I always feel sorry for
men just
the
go
people.
feral.
First of all, the people have to book that straight off the bat. If that's on your credit card, I've been on one with those same exact people that it was on my fucking credit card.
Your credit card,
this is going to be glowing hot by the time I fucking leave this shithole.
Yeah, can you imagine ever having an Airbnb review again after a bunch of those reprobates?
Someone shit in the kettle and turned it on.
Oh God, and that was just the first day.
Yeah. Oh my God, that wasn't even my kettle.
Yeah. So the lads, anyway, they were really, really giving it welly. They were up all night and tore the place asunder. It was carnage.
Some hostel in the middle of Poznan.
Absolute fucking carnage, Finto. So the lads basically wake up the next morning and have to go down, and there's a list of fines. And the way
I think translated into English, as far as I remember, at least one of them was
smoking in the room. What was it? Like a 10? No, so smoking in the room, €200 fine. Pissing in the room, a tenner.
Yeah.
I was like,
pissing on the bed.
The bedding, pissing on the bedding, a tenner. And I was like, I like.
Fucking animals. And what the funny thing is, they have this
framed
at home.
Oh, this is the proudest day of their lives.
Yeah.
This is
it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
like you look at back at it now and you're thinking from the person who didn't work in the hostel, that's hilarious. But if you're if you're some poor bastard, like I imagine whoever's working in a hostel in the arsehole of Poland probably isn't earning a fucking killing. So they would have had to deal with, louty piss. Just fuck that.
So the Irish fans can get away with this and still be considered the best fans in the world.
I know, I don't get it.
We're
fucking immune to criticism.
Is that like that must have been what John Delaney, the disgraced former president of the FAI, a man who could. Oh, he was a man for bribes. He loved an old brown envelope. God,
of course,
God bless him. I'm sure that's libelous. I'm sure he'll come after me. But fuck it. Your outlet was a crook, and so are you, John.
Who isn't these days?
Yeah, exactly. But that must have been it. He must have been doing some unbelievable PR job, like some kind of Jedi, just going in there. No, they're great.
These are not the brown envelopes you are searching for.
Yeah. No, honestly, these lads are great crack. You will believe me.
Yeah, I can do no wrong. Yeah. But no, that's it. Like, it's funny that you say that because, like, Irish are just known as a fun-loving, great. Oh, when I was in Ireland, everyone came up to me and was talking, and everyone always has these fucking stories. I'm like, and the junk balls that you notice walking, like the zombies you see walking around. Oh yeah. Or some people just know. You're like, because I'm not from there, maybe I didn't know. It's like, no. You know a bogey fucker when you see one. I don't care where you're from.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. You know a shifty cunt.
That's one thing that everyone's always asked me when traveling and stuff like that. It's like, how do you know if you're? It's like. A bogey situation or a bogey place is a bogey place no matter what country or what language people are speaking. You can tell by fucking movement. You can tell by any number of
eyeballing the shit out of you. Like,
there's like
the zombie look in his eyes. The heroin chic. The shuffle. The everything under the sun. The dodgy tracksuit. The fucking shit stain on the back. The fucking everything. The pushing 3 prams, but there's nothing in them except for cans and fucking social welfare checks. Fuck those guys.
And he's usually your path out of there. I mean, he wasn't the bogey one, that guy.
Oh, God. Or you see the kid, like, as in, fucking 3 people back with a Red Bull and he's like 2. So I've actually seen that. Actually seen that in the middle of, like, our busiest street in Dublin. They were 50 feet ahead. 2 of them were like, oh, fucking, spitting teeth at each other. And fucking the kid, like, this is the busiest street in Dublin, completely crowded. Like, as in, one person in front of you can't see the next, and the kid just with a Red Bull, and he was whatever age you can walk. That's about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's that? 3, 2? I don't know. Like fucking walk. Oh my God, disaster! Absolute fucking disaster. But back to our Poznan shenanigans.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the lads. The lads in Poznan were they couldn't get over this. This was like they couldn't get their head around the fact that they'd been fined less for peeing than they were for smoke. There was like smoking in the room. Didn't think that's a misdemeanor. I would have thought the peeing was the real like broken bed and pissed on bed. I would have thought that was the clincher.
Obnoxious.
Yeah,
just
but no,
obnoxious
no.
behavior.
No, that was just him getting cut short. Apparently.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's scandalous. Like I had one years ago when the World Cup was in Brazil. Was Jesus, what year? 2014. I think
that would have been 2012.
No, 2014. Well, anyway, I was in Brazil and.
They lost. They famously lost 7-1 to Germany. I watched that with a Brazilian. He was not happy.
We were coming in at the stage. It was like Rio and Sao Paulo and whatnot. Obviously, were
mobbed.
Impossible.
Absolutely mobbed. I mean, that for someone who doesn't have an interest in football, the fact that you were there at that time it makes me sick to my fucking stomach. To be honest, because
it was mad. But like
wasted.
We were just told. $100 you'd be paying for a dorm bed with 16 other sweaty ball sacks, like as in and just it's not for me.
No,
I'm not paying that. Like over where it should be, fucking $2. It should be nothing, and you get a free, I don't know, fucking
foot massage.
Caprina or so,
with
your
Caprina.
Yeah, that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, you get a free blowjob with your entry on $2. But so I was like, fuck that. I'm only staying in the outskirts. We went to like literally no Brazilian is here to the places that we went to, and the first place we went anyway, we got actually you went there. That's why I went this direction. So we got a 4-day boat. I think we got a 4-day slow boat.
Oh,
it's on the hammocks all the way to Manaus.
Yeah. I was there.
But
I told you not to go there, man. It was a shit hole.
I liked it. Well, it's not Manaus. Like, so we fucked off on to the Amazon for whatever it was, 5 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And but that was the real story there. We hopped in, and a friend of mine that we'd met earlier on the travels had sent me a video as like a kind of like an ice bucket challenge. It was around that time when it was kicking off.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't the ice, so he happened because he was traveling in a different direction. We met him around Christmas time. We spent Christmas and New Year's with him, and he went to somewhere, I think like down south. He was somewhere where it was icy in the sea, and he just goes, fucking right, I challenge it, and fucking strips off, bails into the the ocean of ice, and just jumps in, and then. Since I was in pure paradise,
I've got a bigger bucket.
Yeah, I was just since I was in the fucking cracking weather, so I was like, right, I've got another challenge. Can't beat you there. So there's a video of me just like, right, I can't meet you there. But here's my fucking challenge to you. I'm about to jump into a fucking lake teeming with piranha.
Oh,
and
nice.
just fucking fucking bombed in. Woo!
Yeah.
But it was great. Like I said, you feel something rub off you every so often, but.
They're not that interested in you. They're more like, what the fuck is this?
The guy goes,
thing?
you have an injury now. It's a different story.
Yeah,
but he's like,
bleeding,
you don't.
so
it's fine. Like it's grand. And like,
scratch your foot in the bottom, you might want to get the fuck out. Like,
we were just hopping in, and the river was like black. Yeah. Like I think it's even called Rio Negro or something. Negro, because it's whatever. It's pitch black. You couldn't see your hand in front of your nose.
Like an oily slick.
Yeah, it's murk, like pure black. But anyway. The first day we arrived, it was like middle of the jungle, complete middle of the jungle. First day we arrived on like some shack just in nowhere, and it's all flooded at that time of year. So
yeah, because
it's just shit everywhere. It's just shit everywhere. We hop in anyway. Before we hopped in, we said it to the guy, like the guy who was like hosting us. Like he actually had pretty decent English. And he was just, he was a fucking chancer. Absolute chance. Like everything he said, he was like, oh, well, I wouldn't fucking hop in. He was always giving you that, winding you up, a wind-up merchant. And we eventually were like, fuck it, it'll be grand. Because me and some other, I think, Australian fella off the boat, we were fucking pissing sweat. In the middle of summer over there. Like,
it's just so humid. You're
boiling just, hot.
As soon as you're out of the water, you dry, the water dries off you and the sweat just returns.
Oh, you just have this honey glaze on you. Exactly, constantly. You're just like, forking me. I'm fucking overcooked here. Like, I'm dying here.
Take me out of the steamer. I'm done.
Yeah, it's just, it's rough. But we hopped in and we were like, fuck this, it's grand. So, and your man was like, look, it's grand. Fucking hop in. You hop in and the current was really strong and you didn't look at it at all. It's not like it didn't look like, it looked still. There was like an undercurrent. Anyway, had to constantly fight it, and you're like, because literally this is the only hut for,
and you'll be downriver in no time.
I don't, take your chances. Like the local Zambezi tribe, like down, fucking hell, you don't know. They're cannibals down there. Like,
they've never tried Irish meat before.
Yeah, they serve something called long pork, I believe, like Soylent Green. But anyway, swimming away, everything grand, fucking hop out. And later on that day, he was like, we're going to go piranha fishing. I was like, all right, daddy. We hop in his little shitty fucking man-made boat, go around the bay, like literally, I don't know, 10 minutes of a row, and we're around the bay. And like everything is fucking rudimentary. The fishing rod is just, I don't even know if it was proper fishing line. It was just on a stick, and the hooks were made out of like ring pulls from beer cans, just broken a little bit. And he had raw chicken. So we stick raw chicken on it. He goes, and you're just holding a line, basically, And the second, like, as I said, it's the same murkiness around the corner.
Yeah.
The second it goes in, you can kind of see the, like,
pink of
the chicken.
Yeah.
And as soon as it drops like 2 inches, it's you can't see it. And I just feel it's just darting around in the water. Like, holy fucking shit. Like, I mean, is this place literally only made of piranha? Yeah. What the fuck? Like, you drop it in and it's devoured in seconds. And we were just piranha fishing.
They are notoriously hungry little fuckers.
But we were just piranha fishing. It was a fucking cinch. It was so easy. You just literally just pull and another piranha. And you, like the girl I was with just kept pulling out these, like, because mostly they're these red belly, the typical kind of ones. But the girl I was with just pulled out fucking these fucking honker, this like purpley kind of one, like, and just shit left, right, and center. And we were asking, can we cook these? Like, let's have these later. And he was like, yeah, they're fucking full of bones, but like, yeah, we'll cook them, and why not? You can't just leave them. And And I was like, Jesus, thank God we didn't fucking swim here. Like,
Fair.
holy shit. He goes,
just-
no. He goes, do you think it's any different?
Yeah.
Fucking 10 feet around the
Yeah,
corner.
you think there's
And
a
I was
barrier there?
but
that
the guy
says,
was
like-
such a fucking wind-up merchant that I was like, bullshit. You know, bollocks. Because he was like, you know, sitting there. And then we went around. He goes, I'll fucking show you. And then when we went back,
Fires the
and
rod.
we went back to like our little hut, and which everyone was jumping in the water. And he goes, right, let's fucking while they're in the water, let's fucking do the same trick. Let's drop the hook in, exact same thing. You know, the hook just goes wild in the water, like jerk. It keeps getting jerked around in like angles. Pull it out, and like literally, we were hooking them so like one every 10 seconds or 5 seconds. Like it's stupidly quick.
Yeah.
And we just get them and just have one of them unhook it and fuck them at the people in the river. And it was just like, yeah. And it was because,
Jesus.
because the girlfriend was just
Bombs
saying like,
away.
I don't want to kill all of them. Obviously, let's throw them back. And your man was like, yeah, whatever. And he goes, now you realize when you throw them back,
You've
there's
left
a
them with a
little bit of
wound,
blood.
and
They're
then-
just going to get eaten alive. That's a much worse fucking outcome.
I'd rather go on a grill than be
yeah.
eaten alive.
I'd rather just, I don't know, suffocate than that. But
Well, like just to go back there, you said that like it's really easy to catch them. Just for the record, I also went piranha fishing in Rio Negro, and between the guide, my ex, and me, guide caught 6 fish, my ex caught 2, and I caught
Nilpwa.
Nimpa.
Oh,
not a fucking kipper, mate. Not
Oh
a
my
fucking
God.
kipper. Yeah, I would have been going hungry if
Must
it
have
wasn't.
smelled you. What the fuck?
Wasn't for the fact that my super sound guide Emerson decided to share his 6 fish. The fucking lord.
How did you? It was
Not a fucking sausage, man.
literally they were jumping into the boat.
Not a fucking sausage. Didn't get
Fuck's
a
sake.
nibble. Now, in fairness, we took the boat out to a nice little
Did
rock.
you put your face under it? Didn't like the look of
Come
you.
here and I bite you.
Fucking eat
Jesus, that bear's a long way from home.
it. Fucking hell! How did you not fucking catch anything?
I
That
don't know,
is
man.
shocking.
I don't know. I mean,
They were literally jumping in our boat, and I couldn't believe it. And it's funny because you'd feel little things rubbing off you every
Yeah.
so often, but you wouldn't have put
You
know
put it down to seaweed.
yeah, or
It's like-
anything. It's
just-
fucking anything because it's a flooded forest,
Yeah.
so there's trees
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and it's it's all just branches and stuff. Because like we went like during the night, he said, "Who wants to come like night spear fishing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll fucking go with you." And it's pitch dark. You know, you're in the middle of a flooded forest. It's literally a forest, and you're in the canopy. It's like I think floods to 10 meters, which is insane.
It is wild. Like it is.
But we went in and we have a light, but like he only flashes the light every so often just to see where we're going and
check
turns
for
it off.
gators.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because there's like black caiman. He was saying,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they're like what,
I held them.
6
I held little
meters.
baby ones.
Yeah, me too. But
Yeah.
like the huge ones, he was like,
Oh, yeah, no,
because he
you
was
don't fuck with
saying
that.
at night he was like he's obviously taking the piss the whole day, going, "Oh, you get eaten, all this kind of stuff."
like,
and
"No, we don't
and he
fuck
goes, "At
around."
night, you don't fuck around.
Yeah,
you do
yeah,
not
this
get in
is-
that water."
this is
He
when
goes, "Yeah,
it's-
the
this
black
is-
caiman come out in the anacondas and blah blah blah."
This is when the death happens.
Because like he had a dog, 2 dogs, and like one of them was an Alsatian. He used to come out in the boat with us, just sits in the boat and
Yeah.
fucking whatever comes out with us.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, his mate or whatever was dragged off by a jaguar, and we think."
Ooh.
And like all this like, and he was like, "The dogs, if the dogs don't get in the water,
Yeah.
learn from that." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and they lived here. They know
Yeah,
what
they
they know
know
the
the
score.
sauce. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But going through the flooded forest at night when he just like literally would flash the light for a second just to see where we are, you're going through since it's open water for a while. Then when you're actually going in, and he's obviously bringing you to some fishing spot, you're going through a bunch of, it's a top of a canopy. So out of nowhere, it will just be twigs breaking off your face, and it's just pitch black.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, and they are fucking mean spiders over there. You
They
know,
do?
that kind of, yeah,
That's
they
true.
big,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
big shit
Yeah.
that lives in all of this
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. This is their turf. Like
it's a dangerous shit.
Yeah.
Like they have the one that gives you the horn, the Brazilian wandering
like
spider.
if a spider wanders into your gaff and you kill it, that's fair enough. That motherfucker was trespassing. But if you're going through a fucking forest or whatever,
with no light,
you're
and you could be
you're
literally
in their
going
gaff.
eyes open, mouth agape.
Yeah, you're in there.
fucking whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not good. But it's I fucking loved it. It was so much fun. And
Yeah.
like versus actually going to Rio or Sao Paulo. Now, obviously, I'm not fucking a football fan, but I loved it. It was so much
That's the
fun.
thing,
Like we
I-
even extended our trip because we said it to the guy. He's like, "Fuck going back to Manaus. Can we stay another few days?" He was like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I live here." Like,
I was the opposite. My most rock star moment of my entire time traveling was getting to the airport in Manaus and going, "Get me on the next flight out of here." Where's the next flight? When
Manaus
it's-
in general, you didn't like.
It was just, well, in fairness, after doing a couple of days, we'd done our thing in the jungle, and that was 3 days. And then I think we were there for a Sunday. And as you know, Sundays in South America are fucking dead.
But Sundays in pretty much every country that has any sort of religion. Like even Europe, mainland Europe, are pretty boring.
Well, the Muslim countries don't really give a fuck for Sunday. Jesus wasn't there.
Well, their Friday is probably fucking
exactly.
bullshit. And then again, their Saturday night, can't imagine it's very crack. Like, pubs are constantly closed, lads. Like, and if you do it, we'll chop your hands off.
But that was my right. It was like when's the next flight? Where's it to? Yeah, put me and her on that now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It was like that is
Suriname, that'll do.
Yeah. To I don't give
Zimbabwe.
a fuck as long as it's not here. But no, to get back to some semblance of relevance, the sports stories and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised. I mean, I know you don't like sport particularly, but you love the crack and you love a session. I am so surprised.
Who doesn't?
I'm so surprised you haven't been on like some sort of sport. I suppose it's just because the sports jacks up the price, really.
Yeah.
It's
a different buzz, I guess.
It's
very different.
But it's you. I mean, loads of people having the crack. You're not always talking about sports. In fact, you very rarely talk about sports. You talk about all the other things other than sport. Then the sport happens for an hour and a half.
Well, I was told something similar. Like, so back in the day when we were, I don't know, 18 or something like that, around 17 even. I had a few, like I wasn't into dance music back then, and a few of my friends were obviously mad into it. They were like DJing and all, and they were harping on about Ibiza. It was the best thing in the world, and they even came up to me like saying, "Look, you in particular would fucking love it. You would, it's bread and butter. Yeah. Like you would love it over there. You would absolutely love every minute of it. It doesn't matter that you don't like the music. That's besides the point. It's the crack is 90.
The music is irrelevant, man. It's all about the session.
Yeah, but
and
that's
you,
it.
sir, are made for the session. You were born to do this. You've got to understand me.
But that's it. The way they were saying it, and I was like, yeah, I need to go. And still to this day, I've not gone. And it's a shame. It's a goddamn shame.
Bluffer is it is great crack, but you got to do it on your own terms. You got to have the right plan.
You got to have the right people, I reckon.
You got to have the right people for sure. Absolutely, you need good.
It's
people
like in Amsterdam. You don't want to go half cocked with
exactly.
some maniac or some boring person. Like,
it could go either way. You don't want someone who's going to completely fucking surprise you
or
fly off the
balls
handle, or absolute sandpit Sally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that can go down.
You don't need that, like, you know what I mean? You spent enough money getting there.
You want to know. Everyone wants to know what the story is before you get there.
You have a plan.
This is the plan.
Here's the plan. Here's the basics. Right, here's the itinerary. We're going to be here at this point on this day. We're going to be here at this point at this day. We're going to be here at this point at this day. After that,
we're going to be in the apartment constantly eating whatever comes out of the fridge. Like.
Yeah, most of the time, or whatever comes out of the dealer who drops shit off.
Yeah,
because they are.
Or the grow kit in the corner.
Man, that was an expensive couple of days, man. I beat that. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
You were saying it was fucking outrageous prices.
Oh, but cracking fun.
Yeah.
We did it right. We had our own gaff. We had 10 or so people, all on the buzz, all there just to have a good time.
Everyone on the same wavelength.
It was closing. Yeah, it was closing parties in all the big clubs. So we had tickets to certain events. Like we had one day party in Ushuaia. We had the closing of what's it called?
One of the huge
Circo Loco or whatever it is. And we had tickets for those booked, and everything else was kind of just, well, other than that, we don't really have a plan. So we'll hang out in the gaff, we'll go, some people will go, some people will stay, some people will go to other things.
And was it like, because I remember when we were younger, it was always painted as like wild sex and fucking crazy. Was that really not the case? Or
well, I mean, that's the thing, you weren't
on that buzz.
We weren't seeking out randomers all that much. We were quite comfortable to have our own crack
buzz.
in the thing, because there was enough people, you know what I mean? And, people would bring friends, or people would bring, And
would people be like in that house you booked and stayed in, where people was it wild sex in the house even, or anything like that, or was it pretty tame on the sex front?
I don't. Yeah, well, I mean, there wasn't.
It was more wild on the other front.
It wasn't a swingers party. Yeah.
No, of course.
It was no.
But I just mean like one night stands bringing home, especially at that age.
There were some people hooking up. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wasn't partial to that. I wasn't, that wasn't. I was with someone at the time, so I wasn't. That wasn't my angle.
You had the blinkers on.
Yeah.
Exactly. To pretend like you're not into anyone else. Yeah, I know that old routine.
But I had, we had a fucking great time, and session the shite out of the place. I spent a fucking fortune, but it was worth it, and I would do it again. And I have no problem spending that kind of money on a holiday if I'm guaranteed to have that much fun.
Exactly.
And I paid the money.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to go to a dud place where it's cost a bomb. It looks great, but it's Dudsville.
Yeah. And you're like, nah. There was no.
That's the thing with a lot of those holidays, like, or a lot of holidays in general, I tend to stay in the cheaper places because they're actually way more crack.
Well,
they
that's
can
it.
be way more fun
Well,
as
that's
opposed
it.
to
If you wanna
staying in
go-
an absolute snobbery where, don't get me wrong, it's lovely and it's nice and all that, but no one talks to each other,
Yeah,
and
I'd
everyone's
agree.
in bed by
I agree.
10 or something.
I agree with you 100%. I want to stay somewhere where I'm talking to people I don't know. And
it doesn't have to be fucking, weekend at Bernie's Wild, but
No.
but people have to be talking,
Yeah.
and not just like. This is the absolute surefire way to recognize a fucking miserable place where the miserable couples go. I saw it with my own eyes, and I remember saying it to the girlfriend at the time, if we ever end up like that, fucking take me out to the fucking pastures and two in the back of the head. So I'll be sitting there, we were in a restaurant chatting away in some, I can't remember, I think it was in Indonesia somewhere, and looked at the couple to one side of us, sitting there. And this was before, like, you wouldn't have had like, you still to this day don't have internet, like, as over places like that. Not when you're sitting there. Maybe now with the Wi-Fi of the restaurant or something, but at that time, definitely not. So it's not like they were checking email or writing WhatsApps or whatever, something like that. They were, to pair of them, saying nothing.
playing Snake or something.
Just on their phones. Not saying a goddamn word for the whole fucking, and then food comes out, they might say something very briefly, and awful. That's my idea of hell.
Yeah.
Hell.
Yeah, conversation needs to be happening.
No, but fucking have some fun.
Well,
Like,
that's
and
it.
if you're not having fun with the other person, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I'm quite like you in that regard. I will always have conversation. I like talking to strangers.
I
need
it.
I like meeting new people and figuring out what they're.
And I think if you're over that neck of the woods,
and I think especially,
I think you like if you're some recluse, I don't think you end up in that neck of the woods.
Especially like I definitely found with some people that, or with exes, that they would make a snap decision on someone far quicker than I would.
Mm-hmm. Oh, was it fuck this guy or
yeah?
whatever.
I don't want to talk to this dude because he might have said something that I potentially don't agree with. And
Right.
We're on holidays.
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm marrying the dude or I'm
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
signing up to his newsletter. I just want to have a chat with somebody new
Who cares?
and hear some mad shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you're not going to be perfectly lined up with
Yeah,
the guy from Morocco,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
It's just, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean-
he's a cunt. Fuck him. But like,
I mean, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, I'm not saying I'll sit down with the KKK or something like that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Someone may have put a joke in poor taste or whatever. So I'm not ruling.
gives a fuck?
I'm not ruling that out.
if it's funny, it's funny.
Yeah, and even if it's not funny, it's like, okay, right, poor joke. Don't make another one like that. If that was just one joke, that was it. But I mean, But my point.
I very rarely
my point
ever
being
come
is
across anyone.
I
like
like
that.
talking to strangers, and
Yeah.
I like having a buzz, with them,
especially
and
in a
it's-
weird country, in a weird
exactly
situation.
when you're both on neutral ground.
Yeah.
That's the best
Yeah.
part. It's like you're not from here, I'm not from here, so we're both on that
I
level.
like it when they even are from there. It's all good. You're just like, what?
Yeah, well, or yes,
Especially like I've been in a lot of countries where, like, I've been on both sides of the fence. So a lot of countries where you're in that is obvious that you're there for the session because everyone is. But I've also been in other countries where people have said, "What are you doing here? Like, where are you from?"
Yeah.
Like, it's locals only, and they're like,
how did you get here?
Who are you, first of all, and where are you from?
Yeah.
Like, I've been on both sides of the fence where, place like, I don't know, like Thailand or something like that, where everyone is foreign. You're either from England or Ireland, pretty well, at least back then. Everyone was from either England and Ireland, and the session was almighty. And I've also been in other places where literally I was the only foreigner in the entire country, and people were questioning, like, I like this place, but like I had one, like, actually this was even in America, weirdly enough, but it was in some absolute shithole that we stayed in. Like, it was the only place we could afford. Went down to the local market, and they were just like, honey, I like this place, but what the I wouldn't fucking vacation here. She was like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
These kind of things. And I've been in places that have just, like, I had a girl in Brazil, actually, that same story when I was there for the World Cup. We had to go down 6 days after Manaus. We had to get a 6-day boat that I wasn't even aware of because no one spoke English.
Yeah.
And my Spanish, well, turns out fucking
Portuguese.
Portuguese is not the same as Spanish.
Oh,
Like,
no.
No,
Oh,
I found that out the hard way.
A lot harder,
But
yeah.
we got a 6-day boat down south. I thought it was another 4 days for some reason. And I said it to, I was just on the assumption. Day 3, I met some guy who could speak English on the boat from Argentina. I was like, oh, yes, fucking, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, happy days. Do you know what time we're arriving tomorrow? He's like, tomorrow? I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, no, it's 6 days. And I was like, no. I was like,
I've only brought
I was
two
like,
pairs of
I'm
chocks back. You
flipping
better not
through
be lying to me.
imaginary pamphlet that they obviously didn't give. I'm like, oh shit. But anyway, where we landed there, I think it was like Rio Branco or, like middle of nowhere. Brazilians don't even know it. Middle of fucking nowhere. And it was all at the time, they have these floods at like northern Bolivia and southern Brazil every year, and like whole fucking villages washed away. So we couldn't leave. All the roads were washed away. So we were trying to leave at a bus station, trying to figure out how to do it. We ended up talking to a taxi driver who knew a boat driver or whatever, a captain or something like that could bring us across flooded parts of this roads, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was like mad money, and we'd organised it with different people, like all that we found in the bus station. But nobody was foreign. They were just locals.
Yeah.
And some girl came up, fucking stink of piss as well in this place, in this bus station. Some girl came up, no one spoke English, so we were just using our shitty Spanish to somehow get by. Because they could understand us, but like when they speak back, it's just, oh God, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got nothing. But
could you write
some
that
girl
down
just
for
comes,
me?
just literally, no explanation, just comes up to me and just goes, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And not even in a nice way. That's what I was like. But as soon as I realised she spoke English, I was like, get over here. Like, I was just like, fuck, can you speak English? She was like, oh, I'm an English teacher or whatever.
Still Oregon.
Yeah. It'd be fucking typical. But she spoke fluent English. I was like, help me out here with this taxi driver. Spoke, and then she gave me the spiel that we pretty much knew already, but she was like, yeah, what are you doing here? This is like some city. It was a city, but it was in the middle of nowhere. You know, there was nothing there. It was only on the way to Bolivia we were trying to get, but it's just, yeah, like during that time, like Rio, obviously, I've never gone to, but I would have loved to go to. But just at the time, it was just fucking manic. And just mad prices that it wasn't, you know, versus normal prices in Brazil. Like, as in, I definitely have to go back, but South America's fucking great crack.
Oh, superb!
Loved
it is a great spot. I've actually right. So we did reach out to listeners as we mentioned earlier. We spoke to some friends and stuff, looking at getting stories and whatnot. Now these aren't exactly football related, but they are sporting stories of different
traveling sports.
Traveling sports. So I've got two here that I have to read out. Obviously, I'm going to change names because nobody wants to go to jail or be incriminated for anything that they definitely didn't do ever, not once.
Let's screw him
right
against the wall.
So
first the story. The
first story. To be honest, we can't remember, was it Edinburgh or Cardiff? It's not a great start. So anyway, here's the spiel.
What the fuck?
This is from a mate of mine. Well, sorry, I won't use his name. Anyway, so I organised about a quarter of top quality narcotics, if you know what I mean, to bring over to either Edinburgh or Cardiff. We still, at this point, have not worked out which one this was, which makes me think it happened at both times. But anyway.
It's a cover.
Yeah.
It's a fucking cover.
So as not to be left at the mercy of shitty prices over there, right? That's a reasonable consideration. Do you know what I mean? This dude is willing to risk it all. Mm-hmm. Like,
and what age? Like, as in, this screams of a ballsy age, like 18 or something.
Oh no, we were comfortably in our 20s at this stage. In fact, I'm pretty sure.
This could have been 30.
Well, I think I was turning 30 at this stage.
Right.
So
and were you aware that?
Not at the time.
No.
I had no idea any of this was happening.
Right.
I had just been told that those sort of things.
So he was just willy-nilly on his own. You didn't have a clue.
Well, he'd spoken. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
There
had been words.
There had been
words.
Well, obviously, there was some mention in the WhatsApp of like, you know, what are we going to do about, you know, the thing that we shall not mention.
Yeah. Insert something here.
Insert your own
imagination here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And
so you're there, like
I was told it was in hand. Now, if it's the trip I'm thinking of, I was there a day early with another friend. We'd gone over early. It was a birthday thing.
And was the friend like younger?
It was Paddy's weekend.
So like, because this is a young man's story.
This person is younger than me. Yes.
Yeah, but like how you
like 3 years younger than me.
So
Max,
no excuse.
Max,
like it's not like an 18-year-old.
Oh no, he's an adult.
At the time.
He's an adult. He's an absolute adult, right? To use his own words, we were getting the boat, so I thought the risk was minimum. I sewed a convenient crotch pouch in my jocks, just to be sure.
In fairness, I'm like it's well planned so far. Well planned.
Yeah. In my delight in such a genius needle manoeuvring, I forgot to wrap the bag in the many layers of cling film I had intended. Sure. It's not as if there'd be a sniffer dog at the docks, as I...
Oh, no. Freddy fucking foreshadow over here. God damn it.
Fast forward to the next morning, and I'm stuck in traffic in a taxi at the docks when one of my good friends calls me to inquire as to my location, as the boat was fairly ready to head out. Also, to inform me that there was, in fact, a sniffer dog checking everyone going through.
But two. A team of sniffer dogs on training.
Not a great start. Not fucking a great start, right?
Right then, I would have just like, right, back out of this. Like.
I jumped out of the taxi and said a charming friend came down to meet me and lay out the scene. I'm sorry, he says. You'll have to leave it. Yeah, says I, as I watch my friend walk heavily back to the gate. Yeah.
Says I, today's bread today.
Fuck it. My friends deserve top quality cocaine. So do I, for fuck's sake.
Oh my God.
So
Fuck's
I took the bag out of my wallet. I took the single gram out of my wallet and put it under my tongue and walked up to the check-in desk. Sure enough.
Ballsy move.
Sure enough, there was our four-legged friend on the other side of the metal detector.
Smelling the fuck out of my mouth.
I strode up full of confidence, thrust my bag at it as far an arm's length as I could from my nether regions, and sauntered on up the escalator to Liberty. Needless to say, my very good, handsome friend had informed the rest of the gang of the sad, sad news. They all commiserated with me and said there was nothing I could have done. We arrived at the apartment some hours later, a bit more down in our spirits than normal on such an occasion. I went to the jacks, relieved my genitals of their precious load, and brought it back to the bunch of lads.
Dirt.
There was an explosion of the loudest guttural roars I have ever heard.
Oh my
Men were
God.
hollering and whooping and breaking each
Whooping and
other's
hollering.
hands in high fives and denting the walls with their thumbs. I don't think I have ever seen such unbridled joy. And we won the fucking match as well.
Fucking hell. 1 lousy gram for how many people?
No, I don't think it was. I think there was more. I think he had more in his jocks. I think he just put one in his craw.
Okay.
Fuck.
Fuck.
He doubled back. He was playing the odds there.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Not
just like, no, it's not worth it. Like,
Some-
to me now, no way.
some heroes. I mean, like at no point would I ever, and like as opposed to sounding like
fuck wearing capes. They
That-
sew capes into their underwear.
that is not a risk I'd be willing to take, or I would ever advise anybody else to take.
Yeah. The out, like, it's
But by Christ, when someone takes that risk, it's like
Of
it's
course,
like it's like
because
when your
it's
mate
not
tells
you.
it's like when your mate tells you they won the lottery. It's like, well, congratulations, you won the lottery. How many times didn't you win the lottery? Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah, exactly.
there's
Exactly.
the risk reward is, but
It's silly because you would have went over there and got it.
I mean, you probably
Probably for cheaper.
would.
Well, whatever. It's debatable.
yeah,
Doesn't matter.
yeah.
The point is, you would have got it.
You could have got it. Yeah, you could have got it. Would it have been as good? Who knows? But the point is, we didn't have to. And I will forever be in your debt, sir. You know who you are. I love you,
It's
greatly.
nuts.
I love you dearly.
I think it's nuts. Like, there's been a few stories of similar kind of situations.
I've done it accidentally before. I've
Yeah,
carried
like I
something
have
cross
done it
borders.
myself before, but I was
Never intentionally.
I was
Never
I
intentionally.
was 18, straight after school. Like I had it was back in the soap bar days, like a long time ago. So ballsy as fuck. 18, you didn't give a shit. And coming through Dublin Airport, just fucking this and that, blah blah blah. And in the hand, I was thinking, where's this gonna go? Where's this gonna go? And like in my hand, thinking in the lines for security, thinking, what am I doing with this? And then I just looked up. I'd been thinking so long about it, and obviously stepping forward all the time in the queue. I looked up, and they were like, next. It was me.
Yeah.
And I had it in my hand. And I was like, uh-oh, like this is a fucking bad scene. I just back pocketed it and just sauntered fucking through.
The hand, always known for keeping cool and definitely not heating up what it's holding. Like, you know what I mean?
Stinking.
Yeah.
Fucking stinking. Like smells like a fucking oxtail. But I just back fucking pocketed, sauntered through. Grand. Nowadays, it would be like, you hot, sir?
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
I'm pissing sweat. I'm just, it's in my back pocket. Like it's the balls, George. Like, yeah.
Cojones.
Like watermelon. Like it's just nuts. It's
I can't-
and even nowadays, it's not even the balls, but it's the why bother? It's just why would you do something like that? It's just not worth it. Over there, you can get. I'm sure no matter where you go, you can probably get something if that's the problem.
I mean, I get it. I get that. I mean, but I can't take the risk. I couldn't do it. I definitely couldn't do it.
I've seen too many of those banged up abroads where it's oh my god, it's the same fucking story each time. It's some absolute fucking maniac where they come through, I don't know, like Brazil or one of these kind of places.
Yeah.
And it's just, so I was on my way home. Someone offered me, $5,000, and it's something like that. You're like, it's always like 5 or 10 grand.
I mean,
you're like,
but that's always it.
5 or 10 grand. And they're like strapped to the hilts.
If I'm going home from a holiday, I'm like furiously checking my bank account to see, do I have enough to get a taxi home from the airport, or do I have to take the Scaldy bus?
But like
And
you're
it's like-
going home to a country
So, I mean-
where 5 or 10 grand doesn't mean that much.
No.
Like they're always going to America, going to England, going to like somewhere it's not like, oh, I was going back to like Bosnia or
Yeah.
or like Zimbabwe, or something like that. It's always just going back to like rich enough countries where this isn't.
But
a
that's where the
issue.
demand is highest. You know what I mean? It's like,
It's not even like here's a small amount that you need to carry. It's like here's a bodysuit, and at the end of this, we might gut you like a fish anyway. It's just, I never understood it. Why would you go through these horrible and like all of these countries, like Colombia and these places, all these countries are horrible when it comes to fucking dealing with drug smugglers. Like they're the worst. As in if you get caught, it's your passport, forget about that. That's gone. You're in prison in a cell. It's supposed to be for 2 people, and there's 300 guys there, and it's all just fucking El Shafto. Like they're just giving you the shank. You're lucky if you get like you can have the top corner, the top left corner of the cell where there's no bed. You just have to climb bars and hold on. Like
gringo.
Fuck that.
You want to pay now? You want to pay later?
Oh, you don't speak Spanish? Like I said, well, fucking best of luck to you. Like it's just.
Right.
What the fuck?
I've one more tale, right? This is one from a good friend, and again it's another rugby tale, and I'll read it as faithfully as possible, as per usual.
So where is this? Sorry, set up.
So
the
this
scene.
was a rugby match in, I can't remember even where it was. Possibly Wales. I can't remember.
Right.
Anyway, it's not important. The detail of the thing is not important. The lads have been obviously over at it. One of the lads turned up, and he had turned up from London with a heap of marching powder, and hadn't probably shared it as well as he should have, and had definitely been.
In fairness, if you'd done the similar, you'd be like,
he'd done all the transport.
Not one crumb is leaving this fucking plate.
Anyway, this I'll read her out to you. As per usual, and through no fault of my own, I was having a bit of an ongoing debate with a Welshman sitting directly in front of me. The Welsh are a pain in the arse when they're winning and get a little overexcited. I decided to cool him down a bit by pouring dibbles of Guinness down his arse crack every time he stood up. The fucking cunt.
So your man completely unaware.
No, this is my mate. This is
Guinness as well.
Yeah,
stains,
little dribbles,
shit stains on his jeans.
It's the perfect prank because you can get it. I mean that.
Yeah. And it's a slow burner,
slow release. You know what I mean? That's gonna smear,
and it's gonna be just like shit cheese
love
stains
it.
all around the
I'd
asshole.
love it if he was wearing white jeans. I'd fucking love it. So anyway, right?
Like white linens, so it's just straight through, no hassle. Ball sack stuck to it.
Anyway, my friend, who we will call Phil Mitchell, right? We should call him Phil Mitchell. I got away with more than I should have, but it reached a level of soakage that couldn't go unnoticed, right? As you'd imagine, after a while, your britches are going to be a bit soggy from a lot of Guinness. That's pretty grim. I mean, it's.
But this is to the guy who gives a fuck, like.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah, no, my mate. He's mischievous, but like, he's an upstanding bloke. This dude. I don't
okay. This isn't some randomer that they were.
No, this is my mate.
Over.
My mate is telling this story firsthand here. I'm not again, Phil. I love you. Much love. Anyway, the guy who was getting his crack sautéed with Guinness.
Unbeknownst.
Yeah. Well, he had a strong idea of what had happened, but I played dumb. He got quite angry and went to grab me. But before he could, enter our hero, Prunchius.
I thought this was going to be
Prunchius
Mr. Cocaine.
Prunchius is the lad. No, see, this is the thing. Prunchius is the lad who had come from London previously in the day, armed to the gills with a massive bag of marching
unmentionable.
powder. Yeah. And obviously had been dabbling because was full of the fire and brimstone needed to deal with such a situation.
Piss and vinegar.
So your man went to grab our boy Phil, and before he could, Prunchius swooped in to save the day and my honour. But he swung and he missed and ended up face down in my lap instead.
Dirt. What the fuck? Was this like a fucking retards having a fight? How did that happen? Jesus.
Well, he'd obviously gone from like being, it was cult classic.
Like was this like a absolute haymaker from down south?
Oh yeah,
like, from Georgia.
Yeah,
it was one of these from way back here. Like.
It was the dictionary definition of a slobber knocker.
Oh my god! You done like a 270, like
a
round kind of thing. It was like a cartoon mist. Like
went straight up and around.
Mississippi.
He was halfway through the Hadouken,
and he fucked up.
Straight face down in poor Phil's lap. And needless to say, security were over. They had some rough words, but
they forced him to suck his dick and finish it off. The usual.
Yeah,
Did I mention this was Pasha in Germany? Yeah, it was rough stuff. Like, hasn't been the same again.
Can't happen there too. I mean, he's got previous actually. Sorry, Philly was at a one with me, and we went to see the famous Leinster Northampton game where Leinster came back from the dead and won. And for the first half, in fairness, we'd been on it all day. We were absolutely leathered. And there was there was a bunch of Northampton fans sitting in front of us. And, obviously, there's a bit back and forth.
Yeah.
They're just rich farmers from fucking, or semi-rich farmers from fucking.
As long as they're not bulldog fucking headed tats, and
there
was a hint of that, like a sprinkle, a dabble.
Yeah, I mean, they were racist, but rich racist.
Yeah. Well, you're on the right side of the. Receiving of the racist thing. So, yeah. Well, then again, you're Irish. You're technically not on the right side, actually.
So, for those who don't know the sporting event in particular, Northampton were like 30-odd points ahead at half-time, and it looked like it was a foregone conclusion. It looked like that. So, they were giving us massive pelters, right? And most of us were comfortable enough. Fair enough. That's a bit thick. Wouldn't lay it on that much myself. But, whatever.
Fuck it. Yeah,
we're at a final. It's a bit of jet.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit of malice, but not much. You know what I mean?
It's fine.
You
want it. You want the fucking
our boy
bullshit.
Philly. Our boy Philly wasn't having it, and I didn't notice. I didn't realize at the time. I mean, I knew he was stewing. Like, I knew, but like, and I think as halftime comes and goes, Johnny Sexton comes on and does his Roy the Rover shit, scores 2 tries, kicks a load of points. Fucking game's down to fucking 3 points.
Yeah, the wire.
And Philly's on one. He's fucking raining down.
Shirtless Rod.
Because, as it happened, we were at the very back row, like the highest of the highest nosebleeds, and they were 3 seats in front of us. So as soon as the game shifted, as soon as it changed, he was right over, storming down chairs, shouting in these geezers' faces. Oh, mate, giving it the big one.
He gave them the business.
The largest of the large. It was like, we are actually going to end up in a fight with a bunch of fucking farmers here. This is nonsense.
These things happen.
We are not football fans. We are rugby fans. And more importantly, we are Irish fans. We don't do that shit.
But these things happen. Like I remember the first.
We climbed it down. We had a great night.
Well, the first and only baseball game. Game is that how you call it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess. Anyway, that we went to, obviously over in the States. We went to Oakland versus San Francisco Giants. It doesn't matter. We went over there anyway, and the cheapest, we don't fucking follow baseball around like that. We just wanted to go to some sporting event where it's like huge stadium, and it was. It wasn't an important game anyway in the league. And I know baseball play about 20 games a fucking day. So it's maybe none of them were that important. But anyway, went to one of them. I've always wanted to go to I've always wanted to go to a basketball game because I actually used to be really into the NBA.
I'd watch basketball, ice hockey. I'd love to go see.
Yeah. But when we went to the baseball, I was just, I was going in with a head of this is just I couldn't give a shit here, and all I've ever heard was it's boring. It goes on for 4 hours or 5 hours, and it's just whatever, blah blah blah. But we went in anyway, got these giant beers, and they had these huge Coronas. I've never seen bottles this big, and I was like, oh, I fucking have one of them, and everything was so overpriced. It's like $15 for some. I don't know, a 1.5 liter bottle or something like that. So it was like, yeah, whatever, fucking I'll take that. And then, you can't pour it into a plastic cup. And I don't know, I'm paying for that bottle. The bottle's the novelty here. I don't care about the quantity. It's the fucking the clown bottle you have over there. The seltzer, as in. But she was like, oh, I can't give you glass in the fucking stadium. And I was like, for fuck's sake. So we went back anyway, and we got the cheapest seats. I think they were $10 at the time, nothing. And they were the diamond shape. So we were up the very top of the nosebleeds, looking down, and the pitcher's mound was facing us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that angle, and it was actually the best fucking seats you could have got because you saw everything.
Oh yeah,
everything perfect. And if he's gonna whack a fucking home run, it's down your neck of the woods. So everything was good, and it was so much fun. There was guys sitting I don't know, the row in front of us, and it just spilled into this brawl, and they just spit literally like a ball of people over the seats, and it was it was brilliant. I loved it. I absolutely I thought it was I went in expecting this is going to be boring as shit. I would get a season pass. It was so much fun. Okay. It was just and this was basically the equivalent of a friendly, I guess. You know what I mean? There was really no stakes because there's so many games, but it was so much fun. It was just fun to get out and just with a load of people there. And like at the time, we were on the piss every night, so it needed to be a special to beat the average kind of, because we were going to frat parties and sorority parties every single night.
Yeah.
Every night of the week. Every single night. Because we weren't working. Like, we were just going on the party over there. Like. And so, you know, for this to stand out in memory, this was impressive. This beat a lot of those parties where it was just great fun. Good, lovely weather. Just got to train there. Everyone pissed. And it was just
Happy
fucking,
days.
yeah. Like, if we were living over there, I'd gladly go to those kind of games pretty often. Like,
Nice.
even if you have no interest in the sport, it's just so much fun.
Well, that's yeah.
It's more of a spectacle. You know what I mean? It's more of a, like, as in, halftime show, whoop, 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 and it comes out and it's fucking fireworks and jets. It's just it's ridiculous.
The sport that I thought would be, it seems, I never would have thought it, but I ended up covering it, doing video work for them, was cricket. Now,
Christ.
I'm not watching the game, but as a day-long drinking event on a sunny
There's
day,
a beach ball
there's a bar
on the field.
There's a bar, and you do have to do fuck all other than clap every now and again. And you don't have to pay
It just
attention.
looks so dull.
I know, but
so dull.
Sitting in the sun all day with a bar that'll probably even cater for your fucking kids that have a barbecue on down the other end or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all about the event.
That's
like,
it.
you know what I mean? Like, you could have no
Perfect.
interest in the thing. Like, as in, if it's done
You
well.
can't go to a football match and have a fucking beer. They give it to you, as you said, a plastic cup.
That
Do
does
you know
my
what I
head
mean?
in. Like,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
get it though.
Oh, I understand why. I don't want to be glass by
Like,
some maniac.
literally 2 seats in front of me was like a 10-person brawl.
Well,
So
that's
it's like
it.
probably
I went-
best we're not glassing each other here.
The most amazing fan experience I've had at football was in Argentina. I went to see Boca Juniors, and I was only fresh in Argentina at this stage. So the hostel I was in
Was that in Buenos Aires?
Buenos Aires, yeah. They're the big team in Buenos Aires, and they basically the hostel were running this, you know, the usual thing of like, oh, you pay us this, we bring you bus, we'll bring you to the stadium, seats and all that. And I was like, fuck that, man. I don't want tourist seats. I want to be in with the ultras because I've seen them cookers on TV, man. That is what fan stuff is like.
And what's it like? It's not some like skinhead thing.
There's a lot of angry looking men that
right,
I would.
Right. And is that the general gist? Like a bunch of absolute bogey fucks. Like they'll look at you and go, "Oh, gringo."
Wouldn't want to be a
or gringo. They'll probably call you.
I'm a 6'2" dude.
Doesn't matter. When you're facing the cartel, I don't think they care.
Like the thing about this is how serious they have fans there. In the like, so we went off and I was like, no, I'm not taking this tour pack of shit that they're going. We're going down the stadium, day of the game, and we're buying tickets. I bought them for like fucking 50 cents.
Of course, and they were the fucking hostel were
Oh,
charging
30 quid.
Of course,
30 quid.
Of course.
I got them for 50 cents, 2 tickets for €1 or something like that, something close to that.
Yeah.
Because we were like, no, I want in the ultras, with the ultras,
yeah.
right? So we get in anyway. It's all good. And obviously they had.
So we got robbed.
They did recommend
a bit of rape.
Don't bring any jewelry or anything, any chains or anything like that.
Terry.
It's just, you know. Yeah. And I was
don't
fine
be
with
stupid. Like.
What I wasn't expecting was that they have these.
I
dudes,
left my diamond studs at home.
They have these dudes, right? And these are people who are so passionate, covered in tattoos about this football team and everything.
Yeah.
They go to the game. They don't watch the match.
They watch the opposition. Like
no, they watch the crowd and they see who's not singing and they eyeball them and they fucking point at them. And you know when
you do not want to be on the receiving end of that.
Like most like the thing about a lot of these, and they're not that original football tunes. Like most of them are the same fucking tune.
Doesn't matter the language.
I don't speak I don't speak the language, but I know the basic to hum it if nothing else.
Yeah. Ole. Yeah, I think I got it.
That's what your man said to me. I mean, like you know. Some of them I got, you know, like Boca, fairly fucking simple. But there was ones with actual words, and I was like,
well, I don't fucking know.
And he was like, he'd be pointing at me, sing, gringo, sing. You got to sing.
Yeah. I cut
like,
your fucking ear off,
I
gringo.
don't know the words. Then you fucking hum. And it was just like, just make a fucking noise, or you're getting battered. And I was
like really badly.
I will make a noise. Yes, sir. I mean, I would have been much better in the school choir.
Jump, how high, I say. How
man,
high?
I was like, this is my lovely girlfriend. You want her?
Yeah. I'll sacrifice her for the
I'm
greater
out,
good.
man,
I'm
I'm
out of here. Yeah.
Whatever you need.
I ain't no hero, man.
Whatever you need, Esteban. I'm here for you, buddy. I'm here for you.
We're best buds here. Best buds.
Oh God! And on that note,
I think we'll call it a day here.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be back to the full ensemble next week. As always, get us on the socials: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Shall It Be Thy Pod? Tell us what you think. Tell us your stories. Tell us what you didn't like. And yeah, we will catch you next week, you crazy motherfucker.
Take care, people. Have a good weekend. Woo!
Peace.
If you like the show, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you don't, suck my dick.